once again, people, and welcome to another level of Aftershock. This time around, we shall be checking out the Descent. And by the Descent, I mean E2M5, the Descent, not E2M2, the Descent. Because what's better than having the same level name 3 levels apart? We're not talking like extreme opposite ends of the pack. No, we're talking 3 levels difference, and already they're repeating the same name. Yeah. I think this is a case where one just mistakenly had the name of the other, or something like that. I think, like, honestly, look at, like, the level names, I think one of them has, like, a varied name. Forget off the top of my head. This is, like I said, as usual, why this is the laid-back version, why you go to quite quick and see the professional way, and see all those fancy little details. Here you just get to see me play, shoot things, and ramble about whatever I feel like rambling about. And today I feel like rambling about shooting things. So yeah, let's go to the Descent. Also, I should note that this is the final level of episode 2. So that means we're already 2/3 of the way through Aftershock's campaign. Fast, isn't it? Yeah, who would have guessed we're already that far into the campaign? Sure doesn't feel like it. It feels like it was just yesterday we really started up this pack. But that's just how quick it is. First problem. I'm not hearing any music. Once again, we are without music. Okay, we also have a random well house up here. So you see the big features that there's a well, and you're going to descend down it. Anyway, can't really jump because how the corners are. Anyway, let's just go down here, shoot stuff, and see what happens. We come in peace, shoot to kill, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. I can't see what I'm doing, shoot to kill. Oh, look. These guys look like a fun time. Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit painful. Bunch of enforcers all mobbing me. Definitely something that you need to, like... Where did the rockets come from? Wait a minute, what? Yeah, this is gonna be painful. We only have one gun and, well, 30 shells, and that's about it. Great, let's quickly move so we can get some shells. Yeah, there's only a couple enemies, but at the same time, because of how they are, it's gonna be a bit hard to beat them all. Especially with shotgun start. That's what makes it so hard. As he usually does. Okay. There we are. Everything's finally dead. Ding dong, they are dead. Alright, this is a start. Now you come down here. That's the way forward. Well, let's see what's around here. Anything of actual valuable use? Some nails and some stray rockets I can use, but nothing else down here, it seems. I could use some health. But it seems like they don't even give me that. In fact, I'm not getting anything besides a shotgun. This should be interesting, people. Because you see... let's see, I can like trigger... Owie. As you see, when you pick up the quad damage, a lot of enforcers spawn in. There doesn't seem to be any guns here, besides a shotgun too. And by the way, there's a couple Vores in this map as well. Yeah! Vores with a shotgun. I wonder where this could possibly go wrong. Needless to say, we're going to be here for a little bit. Something just tells me we're going to be stuck here for a while. Unless I could think of some strategy to deal with these guys in a more productive way. Don't have one at the moment. Alright, that's a begin. Take them out. That way now. We have a little bit more breathing space. Now, because the Vores are trapped in a certain area, I think I'm going to go towards it and see if there's anything down here. Well, there is health. That's a start. Ow. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Multiple Vores, and I don't see any guns at all. You see the problem here? I think I'm going to need to ignore the enforcers. I can't spend time trying to shoot them when there's a more... Hi, buddy! Okay, so let's see. We want to grab the quad damage and run. Really, I don't even know why I'm picking up stuff because the only thing I really can use is shotgun shells. Needless to say, this should be fun. Oh boy, there's lots of them. Needless to say, it's going to be a health... conservation nightmare here. Quick, this way! Alright, so that's all them. I'd really appreciate it, game, if you decided to actually give me a gun. Just saying. Alright. So with that in mind, let's get all this junk that I probably will never use because I can't use it. That's a beginning. Oops. Oh joy, lots of them still. Alrighty, so that's most of them. We're down to 2, but of course the 2 Vores are what's going to beat me down. How exactly do you kill both of them? Can I kill them with 20 shells? Not really sure, actually. Owie. Two blade Vores. But luckily they can injure each other. Okay! This ain't going too well. Oh no! Here it comes to kill me. Bloody explosives. I think the lesson here is we really need to get some quad damage gloriness. Can I like hit you? Yes I can. Hooray for conservation! Now I need to grab some help quickly. Owie. And that hurt. Gotta do it eventually. It's gonna take perseverance and, well... Okay, this was a bad idea. we've killed all them. Now we just have the 2 Mr. Ogres down here. Just kill each other for me, buddy. You can do it. A guard! This is the beginning. Every little bit of strategy towards surviving helps, as usual. Just like the original game. Anyway. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, get upstairs. This could be painful. Yeah, I pretty much didn't have a chance there. What am I doing? Owie! You messed up my hat! Just kill me, I'm too close to death. And there's nobody health at this level besides that's some bullets that are going to kill me otherwise. Needless to say, you need to execute all this with some degree of perfection. Let's see here. Move up while they're shooting at each other. Set step. White down. That's the thing, I'm not really too concerned about the enforcers on my return trip. As long as I'm a little bit careful, I should be fine. The real big concern is on the bloody 4 Vores. 4 Vores. I have to try and kill with a shotgun. Alright, there we are. Punch shot this guy as much as I can. There we are. 4 Vores dead. Alright, time to head back downstairs and wipe out these enforcers. Okay, a couple more to go. They're pretty angry, aren't they? It's 18 out of 23 over here. Alright, there we are. Everyone is dead. Thank goodness too, because I'm out of shells. I want to kick some butt and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of shells. That could be kind of a problem. Anyway, we also have these holes where the voids were, but I don't think any of them have anything of actual use in them. That one, of course, is too high to reach. Same with this one. So all you do is just ascend it. You get to the top. And here's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole in the middle of the floor. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole in the middle of the floor. And there we are. So, there's the second episode completed. Alright, let's get to the third episode. I'm good! I want your blood on my hands! Alright, descent into horror. And so next time, we shall begin the third episode, also known as the one made by Gregory A. McMartin, the only one we actually know for certain who made anything. But that's beside the point. We shall talk about that next time. This time, let's talk about the descent. As you see, it's a relatively simple level. It's pretty linear, and it's pretty much just a couple enforcers and some voids at the end. It really is just like a little filler end level. It's not really like that important of a level. It does have a nice idea at the beginning. We drop into the well. I do like how the well looks and how it's designed, and that definitely makes it a nice little feature. And the fact that it's one of the more stable levels of episode 2 means that it's probably one of the better levels of said episode. One thing I will say is that really the difficulty here, unlike previous ones, doesn't really feel because of actual difficulty, but because more of weapon and ammo imbalancing. I mean, we didn't get any resources whatsoever through the entire thing. It was pretty much just hope to God that your quad damage lasted long enough to wipe out enough voids so you can take out the rest. As you see, we just had enough ammo. If I needed to waste one more shell, I wouldn't have had the ammo. So, yeah, it was a pretty tight thing. And it required a certain degree of perfection just to even succeed in that level. Now, note that it's a shotgun start. A regular start, of course, is not going to have any of that. But in a regular start, by this point, you're going to be ridiculously overpowered, and so the entire level becomes a joke. So you really don't have any balancing here. Either it's too easy or it's too hard. And by too hard, I don't mean in a challenging sort of way, like it's a real fun challenge. I mean in a imbalanced sort of way that really just leads to it feeling cheap. And I guess that's at the end of the day what the big difference is the fact of the matter, if you don't put any effort into throwing some healths and weapons, sure it's difficult, sure there's a struggle, but it's more just because you just threw a bunch of enemies and made it into an endurance run. And it just feels so cheap and so just thrown in there. And honestly, that's really what this level was. It was really a slapped together type level that really doesn't feel like it was constructed with anything really in mind. It's more simplistic and direct than even the last level, if that's even possible. And really, it's probably one of the quickest levels we've seen in the entirety of Aftershock. I think it might even be quicker to get to something than, say, the introduction level, and that's saying something. But yeah, the E2M5 is definitely not a real showstopper level by any means. It steals the name of a previous level we've already seen. It has a well at the beginning, but that pretty much is about it. It's 2 seconds of eye candy, and then it's a pretty forgettable attack to the end. So at the end of the day, it's just kind of that weird closing number that just doesn't feel climatic or anything. Mainly because we didn't really have to work to get here because we only had 4 levels to this. As said before, Aftershock is a very small campaign. That kind of is very, very apparent. Honestly, the biggest flaw with Aftershock is that it feels very small. It's bigger than like Dark Hours campaign was, but still ends up feeling very, very short in comparison to the actual single player campaign. And that definitely is like apparent here, where we're almost like flying through levels because they're not even real levels anymore. They're just 2 rooms. Literally, you drop into a well, you come out into an area filled with the enforcers, you go around the bend, you go up a ramp, the end. That basically sums up the entire level. It just feels very basic. Um, nothing wrong with being basic or so, but unlike even the last level, I don't feel like it offered a fair challenge to really draw me into it. I feel this level was just kind of a, let's make something that concludes this thing, and they pretty much threw something together that was just quick and easy to make. Um, like I said, it just really feels, it was a bombardment of enforcers. It really didn't have much of in the variety of enemies category. Um, and honestly, enforcers are pretty boring by themselves. Especially when you just kind of just throw them as a giant mook farm for you to basically decimate, and that pretty much be the entire end of the episode. It's a pretty lackluster ending to a pretty lackluster episode. As I kind of said at the beginning of all this, episode 2 is probably the weakest episode of the whole trilogy. The first episode, was a very, very solid episode. Each one had very important thematic-based things. It was very significant each level in its own way. This one had a lot less focus on themes and felt instead very much just levels kind of just created. The first level in particular was absolutely terrible. It was just botsy rooms with really no effort thrown in whatsoever. We had 2 unstable levels through the entire thing, out of pretty much really 4 levels, the 5th level being a really short rip-off level. And then we had E2M3, which really kind of came off as the only real decent level in the entire thing. And E2M3 still didn't have the highlight of, say, the first one. As I said, it didn't really have that thematic-based thing that the first episode had. It didn't really stand for anything or really do anything besides be just a level. It didn't really transcend itself in that way. And so therefore you can definitely see that episode 2, compared to episode 1, suffers from a great deal of mediocrity. And it definitely shows why exactly Aftershock doesn't get a lot of praise. Probably because episode 2 exists and kind of brings down the entire rating, because you play through the first 4 maps, and then all of a sudden you have 5 maps of this. And that's exactly the thing. It's kind of a shame, but honestly, the best episode, episode 1, is the shortest of the episodes as well. And it suffered from being relatively easy being the first episode too. So therefore you didn't get much challenge, and it was quick to complete. So therefore you're going to fly through all the good levels, and then anything else you're going to spend a bit longer time on, but they're all the terrible stuff. So, well, I wouldn't consider this terrible. I shouldn't say that. These aren't real atrocities in any way. I don't consider episode 2 at all to be the epitome of terrible. I definitely would prefer this over Q2. I definitely prefer this over some of the worst stuff we've seen in Dark Hour, say like Spiral Degeneration type. Um, and I prefer this over some of the stuff we'll see later in Aftershock. Some very fun levels that I definitely have to showcase and show just how terrible they can get. Because honestly, I feel some of the worst levels I've seen in Quake are in Aftershock standalone levels. And we'll be coming to that shortly. We're already 2/3 of the way complete. As weird as it is to say. But that's kind of what happens when 9 levels and you pretty much already finished 2/3 of it. If you think in terms of the original game, that would be an entire episode's worth of levels. Um, at least for Doom. In Quake, it of course is going to be like 8 levels at maximum, so it's one little extra level. But um, honestly, like I said, I really don't even want to consider that last episode, the one we just played, to even really be a level. I mean, it's a level in the sense of like Healths of Chthon is a level, except for the fact that it lacks any sort of uniqueness, any sort of real difficulty or challenge, or really anything of real interest to really do. It feels very. It ends up feeling very anticlimactic. I really can't give it too much praise. Like I said, stability wise, it's fine, and the well is fine, but overall, it's just a pretty. They are level. It's a level that really is a very short thing that you're going to forget after 2 seconds because it's that quick to complete the entire thing, especially in a normal playthrough. The only reason we even had any struggle whatsoever was because we did a shotgun start, and then it just pretty much comes down to absolute conservation to the ability to survive the entire thing. And honestly, even in that category, it still doesn't come close to some of the real knockout power-uppers of the original Quake. Something like E2M6 or something like that. It'd probably be more on par with like a regular Quake level or so, but at the same time, it's doing it by basically cheaply not giving you anything. And as I said before, that just feels like a lazy way to accomplish it. It feels less developed. It feels less interesting, and giving you less variety. Because the less guns you have to use, the less variety, because that's less choices you can make. Um, it's a very minor thing, I know, but it's definitely something to mention. There's definitely a lot of limitations here. And at the end of the day, it really was just a linear area with really one little side area to get quad damage. Beside that, it was pretty much a linear track. At least most other levels have like side areas to explore or whatnot. And yeah, this pretty much besides that one little island really didn't have much. So yeah, it really isn't a great level at all, and it's just kind of there. But we had to play through it. We had to bring closure to the end of episode 2, and so therefore we did. Here we are, end of episode 2. Whoop-de-doo. Thank God we're done with that episode. Like I said, not terrible by any means. I wouldn't say it's the worst atrocity or something to avoid intentionally. But at the same time, it's not really something that I would consider featuring or saying really that it's worth heavily playing. I wouldn't go out of my way to play it, is what I'm trying to say here. Play episode 1, forget episode 2 exists. That's basically the way I say it. Anyway, thank you very much all for watching. It has been an adventure, and I shall see you all when we step into episode 3.